Hi guys! Today's video is going to be somewhat of what my everyday foundation routine would look like if I were to actually wear it every day. Now obviously the steps for a video like this are going to vary from person to person. Some people might say it's too much, some people might say it's not enough. Tomato, tomato, whatever you do, it works for you, but this is pretty much what an everyday makeup tutorial would look like for me. And then I'm going to show you guys how I would bump it up to a nighttime wearable look. If it's going to be an everyday foundation where I'm going to meetings or to work, I want something that's going to be long wearable. So I really like the Stila Stay All Day because it literally is a long wearing foundation. So I'm going to be applying that with my, oh, and before I do foundation, I really like to moisturize my lips simply because it makes sure that the lips are nice and hydrated before I do my lip color at the end. I'm applying this foundation with my Sigma. This is the F80 Flat Kabuki. Really lets you get in there and blend everything out quite nicely. And as you can see, I'm not really a big fan of piling on the foundation. I like to build my way up, so it doesn't really look like I used a ton of foundation. That's because I didn't. To be honest with you, sometimes I don't mind if spots show through. Is that bad? I mean, if I'm going out and I feel like I need to look flawless, that's fine. But for every day, like, I'm not typically going to do the extra steps to get full coverage just because, I don't know. I guess I don't really feel like it's necessary. Depending on what mood I am, I might decide to use a lower end concealer. If I want to look a little bit more put together than normal, I might use a high end. It really just depends on my mood that day. One of my favorites that I like using for every day because it's the most natural is the Black Opal Flawless Stick. But lately, I have also been using a lot of the NARS Creamy Radiance, so I'm going to grab that one. This is undeniably my all-time favorite concealer at the moment. I love the shade. The shade that I use is Amande, by the way. And it really is a creamy, radiant concealer. It doesn't crease or budge. You want to keep a lookout for products that are going to be long wearing. And this is definitely one of them. So I hit under eyes. I also apply it on my chin and down the center of my forehead. So basically with this technique, I'm doing it less, like it's not really about trying to highlight the face, but most women of color are not all, well, most people in general are not all one color, you know, just by nature without makeup. So when you apply concealers that are a little bit lighter, everyone typically is a little bit lighter in the center. Now when you apply your concealers, you're basically kind of putting in those natural features of the face. Have you ever seen someone who wears foundation and like maybe not much else and they take a picture and their face just looks flat? That's what it is. So when you're using a concealer that's a little lighter, it's more or less about making the face look believable and realistic, not necessarily to highlight. I hope that makes sense. Now I am making sure that I wet my sponge and then blend out. You can also use the fatty fat side once you start getting towards the cheekbones. That kind of helps it blend into the foundation. And I also use the fatty fat side for the chin and the center of my forehead. Very quickly before that creases, I will apply my under eye powder. This is from Sasha. I still really like the one from Laura Mercier, the translucent loose setting powder, but I honestly have like 5 of these now because I went ham when they were sold out. So I went and bought more. This is my favorite one. I still really like the one from Laura Mercier, but I like that one for certain concealers and I like this one for certain concealers as well. So I'm going to take another sponge and apply that underneath. It looks like a lot more powder than it actually is, but I am pushing and pressing that into the skin. You don't want those areas of the face to crease. Also apply a teensy bit of that on my chin and up and down the center of the forehead because this is where I get the most shiny. Try not to go too overkill on the under eye simply because that can get real ashy real quick. 0 to 100 real quick. And then that is pretty much, now I'm gonna work on my brows. My go-to every day is my Anastasia Dip Brows, simply because it's like a 2-in-1. It just gets the job done. I've learned to use it in a way where I don't have to go in with pencil and do all that other crap. So I'm gonna use this. I love this dip brow stuff. It really took me a while to get into it, but once I did, I was converted. I saw the light, people. I haven't tried the Brow Wiz yet. Have you guys tried it? If you have, please advise. Let me know your thoughts, and maybe I'll pick that up on my next makeup trip. And then next, I like to go back to my concealer of choice. Sometimes I use the one from NARS. I really also like the Black Opal for this step, but I totally do the whole sculpting thing, but very lightly. And I do it more so not for shape, but just to kind of clean up under the hairs, and it just looks neater. This step is pretty important because this is what will take your eyebrow, in regard to the finger blending, this is what will take your eyebrow from Instagram brow to everyday suitable and appropriate, because a lot of times you get that line. You really have to blend, and I just feel like the blending with your finger is what helps warm up the product, and it looks a little bit more believable. Even, I mean, I've got some good brushes, but there's nothing like using the fingers. Use those digits. Then I'll take my Tarte Colored Clay Brow Gel. This has been something I've been using a lot lately, and I will just hit the head of the brow just for a softer look. Then what I like to do is I take my Naked Basics 2 palette. Now, first of all, before you turn the video off, I know a lot of you guys are just not here for this palette, but I had raved about this in my most recent video on like top underrated products of 2014. This was one of them. A lot of brown friendly girls, a lot of my brown girls are just not giving this palette any love. It's the epitome of a basic palette, and I'm going to show you how I use it. Now, either you love it or you don't. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sure many of you probably have colors just like these in whatever you have now, but I like the fact that it's small, it's compact, it's got all of this in one, and I could not be happier with this palette. I absolutely love it. So anyway, I usually don't even apply an eyeshadow base every day. It's very quick and simple. I'll take a blending brush and I'll use Undone eyeshadow, which is the dark like cement gray, and I will apply that all over my eyelid. And again, we're talking about a very soft wash of color. This is not the kind of look that's gonna give you boom, like, you know, this isn't gonna give you like crispy color payoff or any. This is not that kind of look. This is an everyday, I can wear it to the office, it's quick, I'm in and out, and it photographs well. So this is what I put all over my eyelid, even though my eyelids are a little bit dark. And again, I don't apply the base simply because I'm going for a softer wash of color. Now I also work that color into my crease area. And then I will take, I kind of like using both Cover and Primal, which are both of these taupe colors. This look is very taupe friendly. So if you have something that's in the taupe grayish family, then you can probably recreate this just as simple. This look is more so for the girls that have this palette and we're kind of like wondering how they can get it to work. It really is a basic palette. So, you know, I wouldn't really expect miracles from a palette like this. It's just, this is what does it for me every single day. You know, like I need to look on point with minimal effort, and this palette just does that for me. So I do that. I'm gonna go ahead. Sometimes I apply it under my eyes. More likely than not, I usually don't, but for demonstrational purposes today, I'll give y'all a little something extra. Just a little something extra. Then I like to take Stark. This is like my favorite inner corner highlight because it's matte and it's very pigmented. I will pop that on the inner corner. This look is so I love this palette. Okay, so now let's take the excess powder and sweep it off. Then for my everyday face powder, I'm going to use my Black Up Loose powder. I love, love, love. This is hands down my favorite loose powder. I'm not really a fan of pressed powders anymore. And I've come to the conclusion that loose powders just, I like the way that they blur the skin a bit more. And I find that they're, at least this one in particular, this one controls oil really well. It stays matte, and I like the way that it kind of like adds a blurred look to the skin. And what I mean by that is when you take a picture, you almost look photoshopped. Love, love, love this powder. The shade that I use is number 14, FYI. Then I'm going to use a bronzer. I go back and forth between this one from Bobbi Brown, which lately has been my favorite. The color that I use is Deep. This is their bronzing powder. I'm pretty sure this is the darkest one. And another one of my everyday favorites is the CoverGirl Quinn Collection bronzer. The CoverGirl one's a little bit warmer, so it really just depends on what I'm wearing that day or my mood. And this one is a little bit on the cooler side. If anything, this is probably more, it's slightly cool neutral, but I feel like this is a little bit, a teensy bit more of along the lines of a contour powder, but I still love it. And then sometimes I apply a bit on my neck because, you know, we don't want the neck and the face to be at war, at conflict. You know, we want them to agree with each other amicably. So let's get that blended. And there you go, that's it. My favorite everyday blush, especially because I'm wearing baby blue today, is a soft pink blush. This one is from Bobbi Brown also. This is Desert Pink. She, hands down, makes my favorite everyday wearable blushes because they're soft, they're forgiving, they're easy to blend, and they're definitely brown girl approved. Like, I'm still putting product on the brush and it still looks so soft. Or does it? I don't know. Shit, I could be tripping, and it probably could be all the way in my ears right now and I don't even know it. But I look at this and I see a soft, like, we're so scared of pink when we have dark skin, right? But this looks good, right? Next, I'm going to apply a highlighter. One that I've been using a lot of lately is from Urban Decay. This is their illuminated powder in Aura. Now this one is very, very sparkly, so if you don't like sparkly, that's okay. You can use what works for you, but I really like it. I'm going to do mascara, but that usually takes a very, very long time. So I mean, if you guys want me to, I can talk through it, but it's really senseless and pointless. This process is going to take me about 5 minutes. I use Dior Show and also the Mally Beauty mascara. This is like my favorite combo this season. And I always layer my mascaras, and because the look is so subdued, I really kind of like for the lashes to be the focal point of the look. So I really like my lashes to be clumpy. And yeah. I look alive and awake on this side. And on this side, I'm like, not quite ready for work yet, but I'm getting there. Hands down, my everyday lip, more likely than not, will consist of a nude pink. That's just what it is. From matte to glossy to satin, as long as it's pink and as long as it's nude, that's just where my comfort zone is. So the first thing I always do is I apply a soft brown lip pencil. The one that I use is from ColourPop and it's called BFF3. And I just go ahead and I line my lips. And because I have a nude pink, for those of you guys that may not understand why I use a soft brown, this is just what helps the line of demarcation from pink to brown not look so obvious. This is what helps it blend into the skin so much nicer. I've been using Nude Embrace from Maybelline a lot. Their matte collection is actually really, really nice. I was talking about this in a recent drugstore haul, and just look at how pretty this is. It's actually surprisingly pretty long wearing too. It's like the perfect nude pinky taupe. It's so pretty. I don't even like putting gloss on top, and that says a lot because I love gloss and my lips are dry. So that pretty much is the look. That is my daytime wearable look that I like doing for work, school, whatever the case may be, meetings where I just kind of want to put the makeup on and get out the house and I want to look somewhat presentable. This probably took a lot longer because I'm talking through it, but in real time, this takes me about 20 minutes. So don't be discouraged or feel like this is a lot of steps. And again, this does not have to be your everyday tutorial. So this is what I came up with. I'm gonna show you now how I get this to be nighttime wearable, and it's very easy. So now that I've got new hair, you know what time it is. That means it's time to turn up. And it starts by me taking off my lip color, because we will be changing her. Originally, you guys saw me using the Naked 2, but now to bump it up tonight, I'm going to actually take it back to the Naked Basics 1. That black shade right there is everything. So the first thing I'll take is a black eye pencil, and only on the outer corners of my eyes, I will just line them. And then with that black shadow, that dark black shadow from the from the palette and a pencil brush, I will just smoke it out. And basically what that's going to do is give you kind of like a lifted look, and it's going to add just enough smoke to where this literally won't take you, whew, lots of fallout. This literally should not take you more than 5 minutes for both eyes, because it's so simple and so foolproof. That just kind of gives the eyes a little bit more of a smoky look. You can make that as light and as dark as you see fit. And then I will sometimes take the Faint from the palette, which is more of kind of like my own skin color actually. It's like a taupey brown, and I will add that all over the eyelid. That just kind of makes the overall smokiness of the whole lid look a bit more smoky. I'm gonna go ahead and line the waterline of my eye, that innermost rim there. That is another step that's gonna make this look a bit more nighttime wearable. If I'm also going out at night, the lip choice is really gonna vary based on what I'm wearing. I think that the most universal in this instance would probably pick like a red. So just for demonstrational purposes, I will grab a red and show you guys how that red will pull the whole look together. Whenever I like to use the red, I like to pair it with a dark brown lip pencil. So this is Pitch, also another liner from ColourPop. And then I'm going to use an ultra matte lip cream. This is from Magnolia Makeup. I'm trying out a new one. This is Dorothy. It looks glossy, but we'll be applying to a nice matte finish in just a minute. That will make sure it does not end up on my teeth, because these things really do stain. So that pretty much is my nighttime look, you guys. The lip, as with any of the steps, will vary just on personal preference. I really hope that you guys found this tutorial helpful. If you enjoyed it and you are not subscribed, make sure you do, girl. Don't you want to see more fabulous videos? Okay, I will see you all at the next tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a happy new year, everyone, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.